Let's play some dominoes, shall we? This is totally going to be a metaphor for life. So, in full disclosure, I've actually never played an official game of dominoes, except for to set them up and knock them down and they all fall one by one. Kind of neat to see, and they change directions and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to show you this game of dominoes in regard to every decision that you make could be a domino in your life, and how to stack them up so that it could either go good or go bad. And if you learn how to create this domino, this cascading effect in your life in a good direction, it could potentially solve every problem you're in right now, and maybe even help you achieve all of your goals and all of your dreams. So here's what I mean by that. I'll just use my own example of that, and you can draw parallels to your own example, because I don't know what you've got going on in your life, what your problems are, and what you'd like to accomplish. Who knows? That's for you to decide and for you to know. So in my own example, like, we'll go back to 10 years ago. It's 2017 right now. Go back to 2007. So basically up to that point in my life, I consider my life right now in two different phases. So the first phase, the dominoes were pretty much going the wrong direction for the most part, as a generalization. And then since then, 10 years and counting so far, the dominoes are going more, they change directions. And that's one really cool thing about a game of dominoes. You can make a decision, you don't know if it's good or bad, and things happen one after another that are bad, and you're like, well, that decision I made was pretty stupid, because now this undesirable chain effect is happening, so I'm going to make a different decision and change the direction of this chain of events that happens in my life. And based on that continuous feedback, you can make it different decisions and change the direction of those dominoes that keep falling. Those dominoes represents events that happen in your life as a result of those decisions that you make. And it's just one right after another. One decision leads to an event, a chain reaction to another, to another, to another. And it's good, it's bad, it's a mix, but there's going to be a general pattern of generally good or generally bad. And you can change that direction anytime by changing your mind, which you've done before, so you can change your mind again. So with my own example, for example, 10 years ago, up to that point, we'll just keep it in regards to my problems, which was health and wealth and time, because I didn't really have much, if any, free time. And my health was starting to go south very fast 10 years ago when I was 30. I'm 40 now. And financially, I had hit rock bottom. I lost my job, had no income, and nothing, which goes to why I didn't really have any time either, because not having a job or an income coming in means that you're freaking busy trying to make ends meet somehow and look for work or some kind of an income. And plus, when you have other adult responsibilities, that certainly adds to that. So I had a lot of problems. I had made decisions up to that point that led me to that place, and I had to take responsibility for that. And so back then, my mindset was a blame game. It's like, okay, I showed up for work. I mean, unless I did something egregiously wrong, then it's like, okay, that was my fault. But like the last job I had ever had, I was there on time every day, went the extra mile, got along with everybody. I got merit increases, this and that. And at the end of the day, that job was offshore to India for cheaper wages. No fault of my own. I went above and beyond. And suddenly, phew, now the old brain, when that first happened to me, and for a while after it first happened to me, I didn't blame myself, because the facts state I went above and beyond every day. And the facts also state my boss sold me out to cheaper wages in India somewhere. Not my fault. But my response to all that was me, because I make those decisions, and it created a domino effect of further disappointments. And everything up to that point was my fault, that I did nothing in my spare time to create any of my own residual income. Just in case something like that would happen, I could have been covered. But I did nothing. That is entirely my fault. So at the end of the day, my income didn't shrink to what it was, down to zero overnight, because my boss sold me out. My income shrunk to zero because I did nothing up to that point to make sure I was going to be financially covered and generating my own residual and passive income. Did nothing for that. Opportunities are everywhere. I did nothing for that. My health, 30 years old. Things go south if you neglect yourself, and you get to an age where you start to realize, things are happening. I'm starting to feel like I'm getting old. Well, I would be winded running up a single flight of steps at 30 years old. So a lot of people are like, yeah, that's part of getting old. Aches, pains, you get winded more easily, this and that. And so that was sort of, now I was a little nuanced in that one. It's like, yeah, I'm getting older now. I'm not 20 anymore, I'm 30. But also, I'm not doing any exercise, and I have an office job where I'm sitting on my ass all day long, and I do no exercise outside. I eat like crap, the meat and potatoes diet. So yeah, some of this is my fault, but a lot of it is I'm not 20 anymore either. Well, that mindset, those decisions I've made about how life works, it creates a domino effect. And my health got worse. Each noticeable difference in the wrong direction represents each domino that would fall over. And so then I made a different decision. I made a different decision about money, about how I'm going to make money and cover myself. I made a different decision about my health. And I also made a different decision about time, because I believed back then, the decision that set off a domino effect that created less and less free time for me. I believed back then that there's really nothing I can do about my time. There's only 24 hours in a day. That's a fact. 24 hours in a day, that's a fact. So I'm good in my justification. So there's really nothing, because it's just part of being an adult. You have to have a job, maybe 2 jobs, and you got other adult responsibilities. So therefore, I just have no time, and there's nothing I can do about it. So that creates a chain of events that leads to stress and less time and other things. And it's like, oh my goodness. So I started making very different decisions, which created a new domino effect in a very different, better direction regarding my health, my wealth, and my time, which results in less stress, more happy. And that's the domino effect among other things outside of those 3 things, right? So the decisions that I made about money was, well, I'm going to start looking for a better way, because I didn't know about residual income or opportunity or anything like that. Not until I made that search. Another thing was, I used to say things like, well, I don't really know how, so I can't. That was a domino effect that led in the wrong direction, a chain of events. It led me sinking further in the hole, and each time I went down another rung on that ladder, not up but down, that's a chain of events that goes in the wrong direction. So I started thinking to myself, okay, just because I don't know how or what, there has to be something better. So I'm going to begin a search and start making discoveries. And when I discover things that look good, I should probably act on it. So that was a different direction in that domino effect, a different decision. The domino swung the other direction. So I started I made discoveries. And right off the bat, right now, I'll tell you, I discovered a company called Beachbody. And the girl I was dating at the time was already doing it. It addressed her health, it addressed her wealth, and symptomatically from that, it addressed her time problems and addressed her sadness versus happiness, and a whole chain of events, that domino effect. And I saw that happening. This is somebody that I knew, not an infomercial where I was like, that infomercial's lying. No, this is somebody I knew. I saw it. So that made a big difference for me as well. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to take advantage of this as well. So this company, Beachbody, it addressed my health. I started learning about living a healthier lifestyle and making different decisions there, which led to a chain of events of, okay, now I'm getting healthier instead of less healthy. Domino effect, going up those rungs on a ladder. And I made very different decisions about money. I started learning about money. I started learning about residual income and passive income. I didn't know what those were, but then I learned about it. I made the discovery, and because the discovery was good and figured I should act on that, I made a different decision about money and how I look at money. And so that decision that I made led me into taking advantage of a home business that has residual and passive income around a product that is health and fitness and wellness and natural healing and all that kind of stuff, and organics. And I didn't know what organic was until this whole thing, or what a genetically modified organism was, and that I should avoid them. So making those discoveries, because I began the search, it's like, this is what I want, don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know this is what I want, I'll have to figure it out. So that search led to all these discoveries, and these discoveries led to different decisions, and the decisions represent the change in the directions of those dominoes that would keep falling, and those dominoes that kept falling would be the events and the chain reactions of those decisions that I would make. So instead of going down in health and down in wealth, down in time freedom and all those things, I started going up. Health got better and better and little victories. My money situation got better and better, little victories. And my time situation better and better until I have total freedom of time. Little victories leads to big victories, right? So that's conceptually how all of that stuff works. And I hope that helps you out a lot in thinking a little bit differently about what's going on in your life. And sometimes you really have to, me too, we all have to forget about what we think we know, because what we think we know could be this perpetual, never-ending domino effect, chain of events that is going in the wrong direction, and we're still clutching on to what we think we know. Instead of what we think we know, sometimes we have to look at those falling dominoes. We have to look at our results and let that teach us. And then we can question what we think we know, and we could be like, you know, Tom Birkenmeyer, I know you thought you were right, but maybe you were full of shit. And maybe you should give up that bad idea and swap it out for a different idea and cause a different chain of events to happen, the dominoes falling in a better direction that's in your favor of solving problems and achieving some things you want to achieve. So to be able to self-criticize is extremely important. I mean, without that ability, you'll never change your mind about anything. Why would you? If you can't self-criticize, you can't see what's wrong with maybe ideas that you're currently clutching onto that are bad ideas, that are hurting you and not helping you, that are hurting other people around you and not helping them. So if you can't self-criticize, there's no room for correction. You're basically an authoritarian upon yourself, your own personal dictator. And you don't want to be your own personal authoritarian dictator. You want to be the humble person inside yourself that's willing and eager to correct and recorrect in perpetuity, a never-ending process. The change in our domino direction can always improve. We want to start changing it now so that it leads to some kind of improvement. Constantly getting the feedback from the results in our life and the chain of events that keeps happening. Take that as feedback, a lesson to learn, so that you can self-criticize and swap out some bad ideas for some good ideas, make some better decisions, and get a domino effect that's going in your favor instead of against you, and other people's favor instead of against them too, and people around you. So my website, by the way, is tombirkenmeyer.com. Take out the space, all lowercase, tombirkenmeyer.com. I've also got fireyourboss.xyz, not .com. That's different. Don't go there. Somebody else bought that. He got it before I did. Good for him. But mine is fireyourboss.xyz if you'd like to check that out. And if you like the idea of this whole talk that I gave you, and you specifically really like the idea of learning how to make better residual passive money on better health and better wealth, instead of profiting off of people's sickness and managing their poverties, then Facebook private message me and I'll show you what I've got. And if you like it, then we will do it too. The product that I represent it's organic, it's anti-GMO, and it's wonderful stuff. I've turned my health around with it. I've helped a lot of other people turn their health around by connecting them to these products. And the whole compensation plan is based around these products that help people get healthier and wealthier instead of managing people's sickness and their poverty. It's a beautiful way to make that beautiful passive and residual money, which goes to a person's time freedom. To decouple your time from a paycheck means that you can now spend your time doing whatever the heck you want, where your heart bleeds to be, and being covered financially anyway, so that your bills and food and all that is covered. And that's freedom. That's people that are motivated by freedom. That's what they do something like this for, because they want to be free and they want to be healthy and they want to make a positive impact on the world and not profit by harming people. It's a big deal. So I hear from some of you very soon. Just Facebook private message me and share this video, because this is a really cool way to look at life and the decisions that we make and the profound domino effect that our decisions has upon us and upon the whole world too, for that matter. Okay? Take care. See you soon. Share, like, comment, love, and let that domino effect. Speaking of sharing, share this and let that domino all over the messaging of this video all over the world. It's not me, it's the messaging that is so important to get out there. Thanks, everyone.